Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving headfirst into the Ferrari 288 GTO. Now, this isn't just another pretty face in the world of supercars. Oh no, this car's got a story to tell. We're talking roaring engines, a legacy steeped in racing, and a whole lot of what ifs.
No.
Picture this the 80s. Synth music's everywhere, right? Shoulder pads are basically challenging buildings for space. And then bam! The 288 GTO bursts onto the scene. This wasn't just about building a fast car, no way. This was Ferrari making a statement. Now, I'm sure some of you have heard the 288 GTO was built for this thing called Group B racing, and that's where we're going to kick off our deep dive.
Yeah, it's a common misconception. People hear GTO and they think race car. But there's a lot more to it. Enzo Ferrari, the man himself, he wanted to shake things up a bit. You see, Ferrari sales weren't exactly setting the world on fire back then. And Enzo, well, he'd seen what turbocharging was doing in Formula One, turning the whole sport upside down. So he had this idea, bring Ferrari back to GT racing with a bang. But he also wanted to inject some serious excitement back into the brand itself. He wanted a car that turned heads on the street just as easily as it blazed through corners on the track. That's the 288 GTO, pure performance and luxury wrapped up in one very seductive package. It was a love letter to Ferrari's most devoted fans, and let me tell you, they were smitten.
It really was a game changer. But let's talk about what's under the hood of this beast. We're talking a 2.8-liter V8, but not just any V8.
Oh no, not just any V8. This one's force-fed by not one, but two turbochargers. And we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill turbos either.
They went all out, didn't they?
Ferrari chose IHI turbochargers, known for their almost instantaneous response. The result, a heart-stopping 400 horsepower.
400 horsepower. Now, that's a number you can brag about, but it wasn't just about bragging rights, was it?
Absolutely not. This car was designed to perform, and one of the key decisions they made was mounting the engine longitudinally.
Unlike its cousin, the 308 GTB, right? Why'd they do that? Just to squeeze in more power?
It was more strategic than that. They wanted to completely transform the car's balance, the way it handled. See, mounting the engine longitudinally gave them near-perfect weight distribution.
So it's not just about raw power, it's about how that power is harnessed.
Precisely. It's like the difference between balancing a bowling ball on a plate versus a pizza. But they didn't stop there. Ferrari's engineers lengthened the car's wheelbase and widened the track.
So we're talking about the distance between the front and rear axles and the distance between the left and right wheels.
Exactly. And combined with that perfectly balanced engine, these changes meant the 288 GTO wasn't just powerful, it was incredibly agile and responsive. They were obsessed with shaving off weight, and they were ruthless about it.
We're talking a feather-light Kevlar hood, fiberglass body panels, every gram counted.
They basically took a scalpel and a sledgehammer to the 308 GTB, reshaping it into a lean, mean speed machine.
And they weren't done there. Then came the 288 GTO Evolution, but we'll get to that in a bit. No, the Evolution, that wasn't just some tuned-up GTO. It was like they'd unleashed something almost primal.
Oh, they basically took everything we talked about with the GTO and cranked it up to 11.
Everything.
Aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Even more extreme, like they were practically sculpting the air itself. Power. Bursted to a mind-blowing 650 horsepower.
650. That's almost double the original GTO.
And weight. They got it down to just a hair over 2,000 pounds.
That's lighter than some motorcycles out.
Lighter, meaner, and they only made a handful.
How many are we talking?
6. 6 Evoluciones. You could practically have a family reunion in a standard living room. There's something kind of tragic about that, though. This incredible machine bred for racing, and then Group B gets canceled.
Safety first, right. But yeah, the Evolution never got its chance to really prove itself on the track.
A true what could have been story. It's like baking this incredible, elaborate cake, spending hours on every detail.
Yeah.
And then, no one shows up for the party.
Except in this case, the cake might have won awards just for existing.
Exactly. And, you know, the Evoluzione wasn't the end of the line. It was more like a stepping stone.
How so?
It was Ferrari's testing ground. They threw all their wildest ideas at it, experimenting with radical designs, new tech, and a lot of those innovations, they ended up in what many consider the ultimate Ferrari.
You're talking about the F40.
The one and only. And if you look closely, you can see the 288 GTO's DNA woven right through it.
Really?
The aggressive lines that focus on lightweight materials, that pure, unadulterated pursuit of performance, it's all there.
So in a way, the Evolutione's spirit lived on in the F40.
Absolutely. It's like Ferrari took the best parts of the Evoluzione, bottled them up, and poured them right into the F40.
So even though the Evoluzione never raced, it still managed to shape one of the most iconic supercars ever.
And, you know, the 288 GTO's impact went beyond even the F40.
In what way?
It signaled this return to Ferrari's roots, raw power, uncompromising performance.
And that design, it just screams speed.
It was a statement, plain and simple. Ferrari was back, and they meant business.
And the critics seem to agree.
Sports Car International, they named the 288 GTO one of the top sports cars of the entire 1980s.
That's like winning Best Picture at the Oscars, but for cars.
And to top it all off, Enzo Ferrari himself, he gifted 288 GTOs to some of his Formula One drivers.
Can you imagine getting handed the keys to one of the most coveted cars on the planet, a gift from the man who built the whole empire? The 288 GTO was more than just a car. It was a status symbol, a testament to what happens when engineering brilliance meets pure, unadulterated passion. But there's one more thing we need to talk about, something that's hard to define but impossible to ignore when we talk about the 288 GTO. It's that mystique, that almost mythical aura of what could have been, that unanswered question. It hangs over the 288 GTO, doesn't it?
It does.
This incredible machine, built for racing, but never really given the chance to prove itself, do you think? Do you think it would have achieved that same legendary status if it had actually raced? Or did that what-if factor, did that actually add to its mystique?
It's a fascinating question. Imagine it, though. Just picture it. The 288 GTO dominating on the track. Those victories, those legendary battles. We'd be talking about it alongside the biggest names in motorsports. Porsche, Audi.
It's hard to deny the appeal of that, seeing it roar past the competition, cementing its place in history.
On the other hand, there's something to be said for that allure of the unknown, that sense of unfulfilled potential. It's almost magnetic.
Like a hidden talent, a gift that was never fully unwrapped.
Exactly. The 288 GTO became a symbol of what could have been, and in a way, that made it even more desirable.
And let's not forget, even without a racing career, the 288 GTO still had a profound impact.
Absolutely. It pushed the boundaries of what a road car could be, a testament to Ferrari's dedication, their constant drive to innovate.
The Ferrari 288 GTO, a car born from this desire to innovate, to break new ground. It set a new standard for performance, for luxury, and to this day it captures the imagination like few others. It reminds us that sometimes the most captivating stories are the ones left untold, the what-ifs that linger in our minds. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the Ferrari 288 GTO, a car that continues to fascinate, to inspire. Until next time, keep those engines revving and your curiosity fueled.